Hey, so quick video on the new style lock. If your cabinet came with a white lock like this and includes this little pigtail, this is for an optional external power supply. Your lock will also have come with a couple of extra cables. There is this USB cable, and there's this 1 meter long cable coiled up here. Now, and there's also a little package of hardware here. So this is all going to be a little bit confusing. We include this just in case you want to hook this up. You don't have to hook this up, and most people probably won't need to do it. The deal with this is a backup power supply in the event that your batteries die. However, all of these locks have a power protection mode that they'll go into. So really quickly, the 4 batteries in here add up to 6 volts of total power. When they drop down to 4.5 volts, it goes into low power mode and it'll start beeping at you for typically 4 to 6 weeks is what they say. Essentially, it'll beep until that lock, until the batteries drop down to 3 volts, and then it will no longer function. When it is in low power mode, if you open this lock, it will remain unlocked until you change the batteries. You can manually relock it, but instead, normally when you open this lock, it'll reset the pin after just a few seconds. When it's in low power mode, the only way you can re-engage this lock is if you scan the key again to force that lock closed. So it will allow you to lock it, but it won't do it automatically until you change the batteries. So if you do that, let's say you just haven't gotten to the store and you've been manually locking and unlocking the cabinet during low power mode, you get, they say, about 50 lock and unlock cycles like that in low power mode. So you can you can procrastinate a long time before the batteries actually die on this. That's the reason we don't normally hook this up, because you've really got to ignore the low battery warnings before you actually run out of power and end up locking yourself out of the cabinet. However, if you're worried about that, and a lot of people are, that's why this exists, and that's why we don't plug it in on all of them, because this can add some confusion. What happens is when that plug sits on the outside of your cabinet, like this, a lot of people are going to think that that's a recharge port. It is not a recharge port, because those do not have rechargeable batteries in them. So if you connect this and then hook it up to power thinking you're recharging your batteries, all you're going to do is kill your batteries pretty much instantly. So cannot apply voltage to the batteries in this, you'll kill them. So again, not something that you need to plug in, but it's here just in case as kind of a backup. If you do decide to do it, it's a fairly easy thing to do. The other reason, by the way, I don't like to do this on all of them is because it's so unnecessary. This ends up being a bunch of mess of wire and cable on the inside of a cabinet, and it's just kind of ugly and again, unnecessary. Unless you want extra insurance. So this is the bundled up cable. So typically what we would do on whatever size cabinet you have, that cable will run down here into the inside of the cabinet, and then we'll run to whichever side you want to put this plug on. So this is the plug that ends up going on the outside. That requires a 1/2 inch drill bit. So let's say if you want to put it on the side, you would drill a hole through here. You can put it on the top or the bottom, drilling through here. Wherever you want to put it, that cable stretches a pretty long way. So what I would recommend is, if you drill from the outside, find a scrap piece of wood or something to clamp on the inside. Go ahead and drill, center it wherever you want it to be. You can put it towards the back, doesn't really matter, as long as it clears. Go ahead and drill through this with a backing board, and that's going to prevent this wood from splitting out on the back side and making a mess. So 1/2 inch hole, drill that through, then you'll just feed this through there. It'll sit flush like that. There's a pair of screws in this kit to secure this to the outside. And then on the inside, there's a trim ring right here. So where you drill through on this side, you can put this ring, and that'll help cover up that hole just a little bit. So if you do split it out a little bit, it'll still look nice on the inside. And then you'll just want to secure the cable wherever it goes, and that's pretty much all there is to it. If you ever have to use it, this is the cable that you keep back somewhere, and that plug will be on the outside. So you just plug this in and plug the other end into a cell phone charger, in a USB 5-volt charger, and it'll power the lock long enough for you to change the batteries. Again, this is not a instead of power supply, and it is it's not a recharge power supply. So hope that helps, and let us know if you have any questions.